So wondering about the best way to predict your longevity or even your mortality, and if you're comparing your strength versus your cardiovascular capacity, like your VO2 max, we're going to try to break that down today. Welcome to Talking with Docs. I'm Dr. Brad Weaning.
I'm Dr. Paul Zalzal.
We have a guest today.
Dr. Stu Phillips.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you very much for being here and
My
sharing
pleasure.
your infinite wisdom attained through years and years of research with our viewers here.
Yeah, and there's lots of stuff on social media. Everyone's trying to chase longevity more than ever, and a lot of people are selling it. We're just going to try to get down to actually what the science says. We are all about evidence. The three of us all trained at McMaster University, really kind of the mecca for evidence-based medicine.
Mac.
Yeah, absolutely. David Sachs and Gord Guyot, they started this and created medical schools that have totally changed their curriculum over the last 40 years. Stu, what is the truth about, if I had to pick, should I be strong or should I have a really high VO2 max if I want to live the longest?
Yeah, it's a great question, right?
Okay.
And I think you could get on Instagram, TikTok, you name your social media platform and get a lot of advice or guidance on this. And I'm going to start by telling a little bit of a story.
Okay.
I have a good friend. His name's Marty Gabala. He's a faculty member at McMaster University. Wrote a really great book on high-intensity interval training called The 1 Minute Workout. And he and I, a few years ago, produced a video called Hacking Exercise for Health.
Okay.
We're not making any money. It's free. You can get it on a platform called Coursera.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, and you can take it. It's sort of a lighthearted look. And Marty's the VO2 max guy, and I'm the strength guy,
Okay.
right? And we start out, and we're having a fight, right? Yeah. Where, it's sort of like VO2 max, strength. It's like less filling tastes great.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It sure tastes great.
Less filling, tastes great.
The stories diverge, and then ultimately the stories converge again. The answer is you need to have both, right? If you're training VO2 max and you're a runner and it's like, this is the be all, I'm like, have at it. It's amazing. VO2 max is a great correlate along with a lot of other things of lower morbidity, lower risk for mortality.
Yeah.
You could argue a longer life, although I'm not totally convinced. Strength, the same thing, mostly through hand grip, right? We've got tons of data on hand grip because
it's easy to measure.
It is,
right?
yeah. No, it's absolutely, yeah. I mean, nobody does an isometric leg extension or a 1 RM squat in a doctor's office, but you've got a Janner hand grip, yeah.
Yeah. Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
VO2 max, like how am I going to measure that at home?
Yeah. So the tests we use in the lab are, there's two basically. If you're on a bike, imagine you're pedaling against an progressively increasing resistance, so it's getting harder and harder and harder. And at some point,
that sounds like my work day.
It does, yeah. Your reserve goes down.
Socialized medicine.
Okay. And so at some point you're like, oh, I can't do this. I need to get out of the saddle.
That's
but
exactly
we
like my
say
work day.
you have to sit in the saddle.
Okay.
And we're measuring oxygen uptake by you're biting on a mouthpiece, and we're measuring amount of oxygen you're taking up.
Okay.
Obviously these are, you could do it on a treadmill. It's the same thing. The treadmill gets faster and steeper.
Okay.
And at a certain point, you're just, you're just blowing the maximum amount of.
Like the Bruce protocol.
Exactly.
We talked about this on one of our
Yeah.
other videos.
Okay, so at home now, if I want to measure my VO2 max, I don't have this device.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of empiric calculations or ballpark approximations you can
Yeah,
do?
there are some websites that actually you can do a test and you can see how far you can get or how fast you run, and it relates to it. One is the Hunt study has a really good website. That's a study that came out of Norway, and the Scandinavians, they're all cross-country skiers,
Yeah.
especially in Norway. Amazing shape and VO2 maxes, but they've got a lot of predictive data, and you can go to that website.
So just by looking at your resting heart rate, your maximum
Yeah.
heart rate, and some calculations, you can determine
Yeah.
your VO2 max.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, so that's the VO2 max aspect. Sorry, I just wanted to clarify that
Yeah,
for
all
the
good.
viewers.
Yeah, for sure.
And then versus strength. And so you're saying that at the end of the day, both are important.
Right.
I mean, Brad, you're a proponent of VO2 max.
So more recently, I think what happened with recommendation for fitness is that cardiovascular fitness was always at the front, right? Hey, 150 minutes is very specifically prescribed,
Yep.
and they didn't talk about resistance training at all.
No.
And then kind of started researching more and like, okay, you probably do need to lift. And I'm 55 now, Paul's 57, Stu's like 41. He started his PhD when he was 12. So we all realized.
50 something.
That's right.
Stu's 110.
Yeah, maybe.
He's just been doing this.
I've got a VO2 max of 90, and I
Right.
can bench press 3 times my own body weight.
That's good.
That's
So
why.
you started to realize that lifting weights is important, and I thought, well, yeah, what can you do when you're older? You very rarely do full speed or full effort like VO2 type exercise, and I thought, if you could do that, the older you got, that intuitively to me makes sense. If you can run 9 miles an hour when you're 60 years old, even if it's for a couple minutes, that's rare.
It's insane.
And it's probably good for you.
Yeah.
But I guess for the average viewer, they definitely don't have to chase this, right?
No.
Is that fair to say?
No, I think it's fair to say, and I mean, I want to make something clear when we talk about why these tests are as good as they are predicting morbidity, mortality, that sort of thing. My theory is that to have a good VO2 max, your brain needs to generate a motor command. It needs to go down to your muscles. Your muscles need to work. Your muscles pull on tendons and they pull on bones and they make, you're doing the test, but your heart needs to beat fast. Your lungs need to inflate. And it coordinates physiology across multiple systems.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine that a weakness at some point, even inside your muscles, your mitochondria, if you've read Peter Attia's book, Outlive, he talks about mitochondrial health. And you can't have a good VO2 max if you have a crappy mitochondria in your muscle, right? So, but a weakness anywhere along that chain is going to be revealed when you're trying to chase the peak, right? And then people say, well, what about strength? I'm like, you need to generate a motor command. It needs to come down here. I need to coordinate the firing of all of your, what we call motor units, and then contract your muscle and pick something. I mean, it's the strength equivalent of VO2 max. It's not exactly the same, but you can see where the parallels are. And so all of these tests, there was one that it's actually a good friend of mine in Brazil, where if you're able to cross your legs and then lower yourself to the floor without touching the floor.
And then get back up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. We were going to try to do that, and it's very hard to do.
It's very hard to do, right? But
coordination, strength.
So balance and everything else like that. And people go, oh, well, so to push back on longevity, I'll just do the test, right?
For the test.
And Peter Attia has people training grip strength, and I'm like, that doesn't mean you're going to reverse aging.
Because that's the only thing you have to do then.
Because it's a proxy for good health, essentially.
Manna from heaven. A plus.
Yeah.
A plus, Dr. Weenie. Well done.
We talked about this. We said it's kind of like cheating on your dementia test.
We were just talking before the camera started.
Yeah,
I mean,
like you're right. You draw a clock on your hand, and
Yeah.
then you're like, I got
Yeah.
this. That doesn't mean that you don't have dementia.
Train your grip strength, you get better at grip strength,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean your risk for morbidity or mortality's gone down.
Yeah, but you can open a jar of pickles.
You can, and which is
thing.
sometimes important.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about too. If you're a farmer and you're strong and you work hard every day, guess what? You're probably gonna have good grip strength.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
your baseline strength is probably gonna be good. And you probably can do a deeper, stronger squat than other people because of the way that you've lived your life.
Yeah.
It's not because you physically have a little grip strength.
Or if you've gone to the gym and you've done or you get on the bike and you go for the walk, you probably got a better VO2 max, and you probably got a better. And like I'll say this, and it's just this is an idea that's kind of growing in my head. All of the observational trials that we have and show us all of these, so these are things where we're just following people over time. The cohort or the quintile or the tertile that you don't want to be in is the bottom one.
Fair.
You don't need to be in the top one.
No.
You just don't want to be in that bottom one. So you talk about some of the folks that you see after a hip fracture that you're like, God, we're going to repair this, but it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
They're frail.
Yep.
Their mobility's poor. They're sarcopenic. They've lost muscle mass.
100%.
And they are maybe in the bottom quarter or third or whatever. If you're in the middle one, you're not winning the gold medal for your age group, but you're way better off than the lowest.
It's like a group of people being chased by a bear.
And
Right?
you're
You-
going,
right?
How
You
fast
just-
do you have to
just,
be,
You
right?
just can't be the slowest.
Yeah.
Really,
In the
at the
herd.
end of
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
The end
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
you're at
first
the
guy to-
fringe, you're colored.
You don't
Yeah.
want to be the first guy though, in case you come up upon a cliff.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Don't
protection.
wanna be that
I
guy.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm joking about cheating on the dementia test, but I cheat on my cholesterol test all the time. Like when I go for my blood
You
work.
train for it, essentially.
Gee, the first 2 weeks before, I don't eat anything. Okay,
Yeah. Right.
nothing, and I double up my.
I floss
cholesterol
like
med-
crazy when I
That's
know
right,
I'm
go
going
to
to
the
see it.
dentist,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's natural to do that, but it
Yeah.
just doesn't help to cheat
No.
on. But we use these tests as predictors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And, no, thanks for clarifying that. I think what it tells people is that, again, our message is the same over and over. Do something, live a life that is sensible, like eat real food, try to be active, try to reduce your stress. We talk all the time about get decent sleep, don't drink or don't drink too much, and ideally don't do any drugs. But it's kind of that basic stuff, and do it all the time. And if you miss a couple days, that doesn't really matter. It's
Yeah.
the 80 or 90%. You know, don't beat yourself up if, say, you missed 2 gym sessions. Oh well. It's kind of like if you were running a marathon. It's the 6 months of training that matters. It's not what you did on the one Wednesday when you had a whole pizza and 2 beers. That's not what's going to make you perform poorly. It's not doing something for the 6 months before or for 50 years as you get older. So just start to do something.
Yeah, at the gym I go to, at the end of the year, they send you, hey, you came this
yeah.
many days. And
Yeah.
my wife and I are looking like, oh man, could have went so many more. I'm like, well, you know what? Look how many days we did
Yeah.
go. Like, focus on the
Yeah.
fact that you are doing something, and that'll encourage you to do more.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. If you have a comment about this, please share your experience and your thoughts on strength, on VO2, on your training, because it really helps our other viewers just get inspired by so many amazing people that follow us. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and send it to someone maybe that needs some inspiration around these topics.
And if you cheated on your dementia test, let us know. We won't judge. We just want to know. Remember, you are in charge of your own health.
And thanks so much to Dr. Phillips for coming. It's been great having him as a guest, and he shared so much knowledge. Really appreciate having you here, Stu.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.